Yeah, so the rear of the property, the lower rafters, they'll need to come away. They're around about 2 meters long, about 6 foot, 7 foot long. The first section, and if you've seen the videos that I did at the rear of the property, the roof's in a right old state because you had two largest trees that are growing right by the house, and what's happened over the years is the branches have just pushed and pushed and pushed into the roof and actually rooted. So several of the branches actually rooted within the roof, and some of the tiles got disturbed. So the lower timbers just are beyond reusing for a roof. But what I like to do with everything that's within the house that I can save, I'll save. So if you look at the video and you see the stuff outside, I've demolished some of the old furniture and stuff that was there. Most of it was sort of IKEA-ish style stuff, chipboard, laminated or melamined, which I haven't got any use for and I don't particularly like. So the stuff that's proper wood, saving, I've put into the barn area, and there's loads of other really old furniture in the barn. And with that, I try to upcycle it by making, if I can make the kitchen from the old furniture that was there, stuff like that, to minimise how much money I actually have to spend on buying stuff to put into the house. Because as you can appreciate, €15,000 is not a whole lot of money. And I'm not in a position where I can then say, it's not a problem. I'll spend 20,000, I'll spend 30,000, I'll spend 40,000, because that money isn't there. So I have got some money left after the spend, but I have to also think about my old age. I'm 61 now, as I've said. I have worked in France for several years, so amazingly enough, I will actually get a French pension, but that's not a great deal of money. And I can start claiming from that from about the age of 63, I believe. And then obviously I would get my UK pension, which they've nicely pushed back to 67, considering I started work at 16 as an apprentice mason pavior. But all my contributions were up to date, so I will get that UK pension if I haven't croaked by then. But that's 6 years, so I have to think of what I will be doing between finish the house. I can find work in Paris, and I can do the kind of work I was doing before. But what it would have to be from time to time. It would have to be part time as such, because I don't think my knee would take working 5 days a week as it did in the past. So I'm investing in myself and the health of my knee to get this house done as quickly as possible. So the end of August, that's the deadline. I'm fairly confident that it will be finished by the end. I've got I'm not thinking, well, if it runs into September, it runs into September, October, November. That's not my game. If you knew me, or if you know me, if you've come across my video and you know me already, lived in Croydon for 34 years in South London, so invariably somebody's going to come across me that knows me. I'm a grafter, and I get on with it and I get it done. So it's not, like I say, if you've subscribed to me, I'm not going to let you down by saying, oh, sorry, 6 months down the line, I wasn't able to do it and I found something else to do that interests me better. This is my life. This is my house. This is house in my name only, so that unscrupulous people cannot then say, oh, well, by the way, you put it in my name, so therefore it's mine. So sod off. That's I've got that security now, and it's not, like I said, it's not such a great house, it's such a huge house. Little story for you: when we first started doing the house in Normandy, so I put an advert in. I needed sort of a bit of labouring help. I'd asked the guy that worked with me in the UK, but he wasn't keen on coming on to France to work for a couple of weeks. So a guy called Tom contacted me. He lived further down south in France, and he said, yeah, I'll come in for a couple of weeks. We can sort of it's like a camping style living, because I didn't have water, electric, and anything like that, heating, whatever. He'd had a house in Sidcup in South London, in Kent, and he'd sold it back in, I don't know, we'll say 2000. I don't know the exact date. He sold it £160,000, which at the time would have been a good price. Everything's relative. He's found this enormous sort of manor house in somewhere down the middle southern part of France for something like €120,000, and he's bought it. But it's going to need 100,000 to put it right. He hasn't got 100,000 to do that. So he spent all the money that he could, and he's got as far as he could, and then he's run out of money. And I remember thinking, my God, I can't be in that position. I can't be, house is semi-finished, and shit, what do I do now? And we met so many people in Normandy, in and around the area that we were, that are in that same sort of position. They were living in houses that were semi-renovated, and I could not understand the mentality. That has to be your number one priority. The number one priority, you have to get the house finished. Yeah, it has to be in a position where, you've got proper bedrooms, you've got a proper kitchen, you've got a proper living space. Okay, if you've got a room here or there that you don't generally utilise, hasn't been finished entirely, or it's missing skirting boards, which was a big thing, my ex-wife. That's no big shakes. But I'm talking about people that had living in sort of semi-ruins, living in one room, which became their kitchen, bedroom, living space, because they'd taken on way too much. They ran out of money, and for the rest of the days, they're going to be in this crappy little space. Who wants to live like that? I don't want to live like that. I've never lived like that, and I'm not going to live like that now. So it will go ahead. It will be done. I can guarantee you that it will be finished. It will be finished, I believe, for that €15,000, because I'm quite clever at utilising things and finding savings wherever I can find savings. And because I'm doing 100% of the work myself, so I'm not paying people to do it, I should be able to meet that deadline. And because I'm not into luxury goods, so I don't need the kitchen, full of the top quality brands that are available. If it works and it's relatively inexpensive and it's brand new, so you've got a year, 2-year guarantee anyway, I will get it and I'll put it in place as far as sort of the oven's concerned, and stuff like that. So that's where I'm at the moment. And we've talked about the roof, kitchen, the bedrooms and the insulation in the bedrooms. That will all be metal framed, because it's lightweight to use. It's very, very quick to put up. Doesn't cost a great deal of money. Insulate it. The floor needs organised a little bit because it's had a wood burner downstairs. There's one particular section of the upstairs loft, which is the main beam, over the years has dried out with the heat or whatever, and it's just settled, and it's taken all the joists that were there down with it. So there's a fall of maybe, I don't know, I would say 10 centimetres or about 4 inches from one side to the other. So that needs organising. But the stuff that they've used, the French call it torchis, I think we call it cob. It's sort of a mixture of soil and straw that they used back in the day to put between the timber frame that they created, and they've done that with the flooring as well. So you've got the joist that sits in place, then you've got smaller sort of thicker battens that sit over the joist, and then they whack all this torchis in place, and that creates a floor. And there's one part of the loft where the floors also they've laid some I'd say briquettes, sort of over the floor space, which I would probably end up doing something cheap and nasty in the loft area, like laminate flooring, because again, it's dirt cheap. It's very, very quick to put down. And I don't need it's not going to be authentic in the loft space, because the loft space was only ever a loft space. So what I'm creating now is creating modern looking bedrooms for not a lot of money, to accommodate myself and my kids as and when they come and see me. So we talked about loft space, talked about windows. The windows at the rear of the property and also the rear door are all double glazed. So, there's a saving in itself. The rear door does actually need playing around with a little bit. It's wooden, it's double glazed, got double glazed units on it, but it needs shaving down a little bit because over the years you've had a lot of humidity and moisture that's gotten into it, and now it doesn't shut properly. So I've had to just put temporary latch and padlock on there to keep my stuff safe inside. So immediately you've got a saving of, there's 3 windows at the rear, but I'm not having to replace. There's a rear door and frame which are in good knit hardwood frame. Don't have to replace that. So it's things like that. You're looking at savings, and the other thing to think about is that we don't all have shed loads of money that we can just say. We don't have. There's certain people I've seen on here where they've got a family behind them, so they've got a family that own properties throughout France, and it's not exactly real when somebody's saying, "Oh, I can only do this because I haven't got any money," and then in the next video they're heading back to mum and dad's who's got this huge estate and no doubt would be able to comfortably finance whatever they're doing. Me, it's as that famous song by De La Soul says, it's me, myself, and I. That's it. My sons have offered to help me in the summer holidays. One's at uni, and the other's still in the school system in France. But obviously, that's a long way off, and I'd like to think that most of the major works would be done by then, and it would be just a question of they're going to be helping me maybe paint the rooms, stuff like that. Generally finish off the property when the school holidays in France begin. So that's kind of my story so far. Thanks ever so much. If you've subscribed or if you've taken the time to watch what an old man's attempting to do, I really appreciate it. Okay, it's superb. Some of the comments I've had are wonderful. I just wanted to say thanks a lot. I just wanted to try and explain. I don't like being in front of the camera. It's really kind of bizarre situation for me. When I take footage of the house, because it is me, so I'll be doing work and then I'll stop 5 minutes, have a glass of water, whatever, and I'll take a bit of a video. So you're never going to see this kind of polished Hollywood style renovation project unfold in front of you. What you'll see is an honest history of the house, me, how I do it, how it ends up, how long it takes. I will obviously detail at the end of it how much it cost. Thanks ever so much, and I do hope you'll stick with me, and I hope that this video is useful, and I hope that my sound quality is better now because I bit the bullet and bought a €15 external microphone from Amazon. So hopefully we haven't got those issues that we had in some of the early videos where I had no thought in my head that I was going to then create this YouTube channel as such. It was just I was going to put the information out there, hoping that maybe some of the younger people that would look at it and think, well, God, if an old boy like that can have a go, I can have a go as well. I think it's disgraceful these days that young people really struggle to get on the property ladder throughout the Western the world, throughout the UK and the United States and Europe. It's very, very difficult for the young people, and I think it's dreadful. I think the government should do more, but that's my political rant finished with. Anyway, so the idea was that it was, hopefully it would be helpful. You could perhaps see what I'm doing on a video and think, oh yeah, I'd have a crack at that as well. Thanks ever so much. Sorry if it's all a bit, it's not, like I say, it's not Hollywood quality this, but it's just me trying to explain where I'm at. Just a little thank you to all the people that are watching the video, and let's do this.